Here's another person who chimed into this conversation. All right. So this is a chick, right? She says, I used to be afraid to admit this as a black person, but I'm not anymore. Next post says, Candace Owens. Yo, this shit's moving too fast. Hold on. Candace Owens starting to make sense. Yo. Now, as you guys could probably already guess, this is when people started not to like this trend. Because it's probably all good if you're talking about, oh, I was made fun of because I didn't know certain movies or music or maybe can't dance or whatever. But now you're moving over into things that people pick sides over and don't talk to family members over. You're moving over into politics. Candace Owens, how dare you? Whoa. Please. Here's some responses, guys. This is hot coffee. The coffee's getting hotter on the coffee pod. This first comment says, I want to know what specific point you agree with. She's like, nah, we got to have this conversation. And here's another black woman who commented and says, I love Candace Owens. Let's see responses to that. Love is crazy. They're like, yo, love is crazy. Here's another person who says, a lot of y'all don't even have permission to speak. Y'all still listen to Sexy Red and still support that city girl after what she did. Somebody else here says, what does Sexy Red's music have to do with any of this? I think here's where you see the disconnect. For people who sit here and can identify with what this chick just said, I'm just dealing with this chick's post of, I like Candace Owens, I think she's right, whatever. For them to not look at someone like Sexy Red, guys, you know I love rap music. I've told you guys that. But I had to get to a certain point where I was like, I can't listen to that. There has to be a standard as you get older. There has to be a standard as someone who wants a family and wants to raise up kids in the right way. You got to start kind of saying, I can't listen to certain types of music that's glorifying a certain type of lifestyle. It's too toxic. And some people get to that point. And you saying, what does Sexy Red's music have to do with any of it? You're just out of touch. Now, you can educate yourself, but again, it's no one's job to help people out in that regard. So let's keep reading a few more comments here. Remember, this is in response to, I used to be afraid to say, this is a black person, Candace Owens starting to make sense. This next person says, is this a safe place to agree? Ooh.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
She's like, hold on, I can drink that coffee. Another person here says, she's always, this is a black woman, she says, she's always made sense. Are people hard-headed? Another person responded back to that chick and says, that is the funniest thing ever. And another person here says, nah, but definitely recently. And let's see what else we got here. I been loved Candace Owens. Another chick here says, been made sense. Another person here says, in response to that chick who says, been made sense, I'm saying my thought, right? Literally. Another chick here says, not everything, but a lot recently. Here's somebody else who says, we love Candace. Another woman here says, I was too scared to admit. Whoa. Another person who says, not gonna lie, she does have valid points. With the crying and tired emoji. What I think is also interesting is it's very obvious that as a black person, you really will be criticized for thinking for yourself. It's almost like you're not allowed to think for yourself. The fact that people need this type of a trend to say, hey, I agree with this person, or I actually think this person has some good points, really shows the groupthink of the black community, in my opinion. And it's almost like, well, if you say it, I'll say it. And very rarely do you get people who are brave enough to just be like, F it. This is what I stand for. This is who I am. And I do not hate the black community. It's just what I think. And if you think I'm a problem and it's self-hate and anti-black, then that's on you. Oh, here's another comment that says, I started following her on Insta. Oh, no. Me too. Damn. So Candace has been getting a lot of support from black women. Same. Okay. So let's move on. What else do you think other people were afraid to admit as a black person? Do you have something that you may be afraid to admit yourself? Comment down below. Okay, we've got a video here. I'm going to start from the beginning. This chick's explaining what she is afraid to admit. Let's see what she has to say.
Here's something I used to be afraid to admit as a black person. I'm still uncomfortable admitting this, but I'll say it anyway.
Why is she whispering? Speak up, lady. I'm trying to turn you up.
Here's something I used to be afraid to admit as a black person. I'm still uncomfortable admitting this, but I'll say it anyway.
Okay.
I will personally never marry or date someone with BBC. I strongly believe compatibility is something that's important. There's no
This chick just said BBC, bro.
reason for me to be fitting a Guinness Book of Record-sized eggplant inside a needle
This chick's been traumatized.
sized hole. When I was growing up, I heard stories.
My bad. My bad. She said something that was important. Hold on.
Plant inside a needle.
I'm sorry, guys.
Compatibility is something that's important.
Okay.
There's no reason for me to be fitting a Guinness Book of Record-sized eggplant inside a needle-sized hole. When I was growing up, I heard stories of small women getting torn up because they married someone and they didn't check their size.
Torn up is crazy.
And they were stuck with that situation, or they had to divorce because of that. I will not put myself in that situation. I know some of you like to say it stretches. I am not testing that. I will not be an experiment. I will not experiment. I would not traumatize my body just for the sake of testing if it works out. I will not.
That's hilarious. Yeah, she doesn't want any BBC. She says she doesn't want to deal with that. Yeah, someone traumatized this chick, bro. That's one we didn't see coming. All right, so maybe there's some ladies out there who agree, right? There's misconceptions, especially in the black community, that, you know, everybody wants that anaconda. Pause. But maybe you don't. Here are the comments. Let's see what people have to say. First comment here says, "How will you check?" That's a pretty, imagine liking a chick and she checks your shit out and all of a sudden stops liking you and you're just confused. Like, what? Someone here responding back to that comment says, "Show them this video and see how they react." The creator responded, "Smart." Another person who says, "I was never afraid to admit that. I told one ex he had to go because of it. Damn. That thing is too much for me. Go find a corn star." Okay, got you. And she responded back with laughing emojis. "Go find a corn star." Laughing emojis. "Know that you just made my day." And somebody else here says, laughing emojis. Somebody else here added, "I don't blame you. It's not worth the trauma." Imagine your girl is telling you about how an ex's joystick was a traumatic experience and how she needed help and therapy after it. That's painful. She sounds African. I don't know what part of Africa. I think South Africa, but I'm not sure. This chick says, "Facts." We've got another woman here that says, "A nurse told me that I needed to be careful because my baby daddy kept tearing me up." A nurse telling you to be careful because your baby daddy kept tearing you up. It's just like, I'm selfishly imagining her sharing that to the next guy and being like, "I had to leave my ex. It was just too much. It just kept tearing me up." You're sitting there like, what? Oh man. Somebody else here says this, the hands up. Another guy here says, "This is sad. For us men with above average appendages," in quotation marks, "we didn't ask for this." What a curse. What a curse. Drink that coffee.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.